Thank you, Esther, for having me and for keeping Sudan in the news. As you rightly described, we're now at the 1-year mark of the war in Sudan, and this is a really tragic day for us as Sudanese. Two generals in Sudan have created the largest man-made humanitarian crisis in Sudan, in the world. There are 5 different crises that they've created. In Sudan, we currently have the largest displacement crisis in the world. As you stated, 9 million Sudanese have now been displaced both internally and externally. The second crisis is the humanitarian crisis. The UN humanitarian chief has said that Sudan is the most dangerous place in the world for humanitarian workers, and we've seen more than 30 die in the year that this war has been ongoing. The third is the protection and security crisis. Today, between 7 and 9 million Sudanese women are at risk of rape and sexual and gender-based violence. The fourth is the hunger crisis. You talked about the looming famine. The famine is already on our doorstep, and between 8 and 10 million Sudanese are currently at risk of starvation in the next few months. And finally, this is a children's crisis. We have 19 million Sudanese children out of school. So this is also an educational crisis.
So Samah, given the kind of dire situation you're giving, how are state institutions faring?
Well, this is basically a situation where you have all the features of a failed state. I mean, you're talking about a country that is now being governed by men with guns. It's not being governed by the rule of law. You have a country where water, power, and internet outages are now becoming the norm. The country is now on the verge of economic collapse. I mean, basically, mutual aid organizations, community-based organizations, emergency rooms, frontline responders, and diaspora remittances. Mm-hmm. This is the lifeline that is keeping people alive, mm-hmm. that is giving people some access to 1 meal a day for many. That's become the reality for many families. Many government workers haven't received a salary in more than 6 months. Many companies in the private sector have gone out of business completely.
So is there hope that the two men fighting, Hemeti and Al-Burhan, can meet and say, this is it, we need to negotiate and end this war?
This is what we'd like, and this is what, Ambassador Greenfield and Ambassador Perriello are working on, along with other interlocutors. What we've said time and time again is that there are flagrant violations of the arms embargo in Sudan. And as long as there are external actors who are continuing to supply both belligerents with weapons, they will continue to fuel this war. And so what we'll continue to see is a prolongation of the war as long as countries, whether that's neighboring countries in the region or outside of the region, continue to supply both General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and General Hemeti with weapons. And so we do call on, the UN Security Council to hold accountable those countries that are violating the Sudan and Darfur arms embargo.